Yahoo! Today we're going to have a look at another game, a game I've actually won this time, but still I made a crucial mistake which could have cost me the game, and there's still something to learn from it. I'm currently rank Ichidan, or 1 dan, and so was my opponent. Alright, let's jump right into it. I'm not going to go over every single position and highlight the important moves. We start with a silver on 6-8, Ureshino Ryu opening, which is my go-to when I'm playing a center. We have some natural development here. Quick thing to note as always, if you see your opponent pushing the static rook here, you always want to put the gold to defend. He continues pushing, we just develop our Ureshino Ryu. He pushes the pawn all the way, take, and he retreats. And we just advance our pawns to set up for our position, putting the silver on a nice square here. And here, in direct contrast to the last game, instead of trying to force open the center right away, we take an extra move just to take our king a little bit out of the way, and we play another move, the silver here protecting these very crucial squares here, just to have a nice defensive position before we basically start to initiate an attack, right? Alright, our opponent tries to defend his front here with a silver. We push regardless, and here is kind of a mistake we saw in the last game, from my side however, where I tried to trade something not considering tempo. This time my opponent goes for the same thing. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take your silver here. However, we can just take, and now we threaten the bishop. So if you want to take here, of course, that would be a really good trade for us, and we could even get another one after that. So naturally he just takes here, and we drop our pawn here. So it's a very similar position to what we've seen in the other game. I mean, sure, the rook was here, but we have both these pawns attacking the bishops, not the bishops, the silver generals, and it's even my opponent's turn, right? So one could think that we lose tempo here. However, after he takes and we take, he doesn't have an immediate threat. We do, however, because we could take the bishop here. He could just take a pawn, and sure, silver after, but a bishop is obviously more valuable. So he retreats his bishop first, and we develop our bishop to this long diagonal here. Now we could have also taken here, but I wanted to get our attack going as quickly as possible, considering the king is still in the middle. And he opens the way straight. For us, of course, we have to take back here. We can't commit our attack here just yet, because we don't want to lose a silver and a gold for free, right? Just to keep ourselves a little bit safe and not overcommit everything into an attack. And here he drops a pawn. And this is a mistake we talked about last time as well, where you have to recognize when you are on the defense and have to play moves to keep yourself safe a little bit rather than playing for aggressive tempo plays. Because what happens here is I will just take, he takes back, and now we drop a pawn. He has to retreat the rook again, and it's our turn. So at this point here, it was his turn, and now it's our turn. So we just exchanged a single pawn, and we have tempo now. And this is also a dangerous square, and we will see later why. Immediately we could see that the bishop, that was the wrong one, the bishop could immediately annoy this rook a lot, but we're not going to focus on that because we have our attack going. He should have used his gold general to protect a little bit more here, and we will see in a second why. Because after he takes and we take with our bishop, we now have check. He did not take a move in between to get his king out of the way to prevent this check, and with the check, she retreats into a kind of like a half castle. However, this moves, and maybe you can spot it on the directly here, allows us to play put a very nice drop on the first rank, which is our silver here, attacking both golds at the same time, and also really compromising his defense. Now, this is already a kind of a winning position because he has a lot of trouble defending. In this position, it probably would have been good to put the rook here, because he's going to lose one of these two anyway, and at least that way he can create some pressure. However, our opponent tried to attack our silver somehow, which was not the correct play, and we can just take with tempo, check the king, and continue our attack. At this point, it's a very winning position. He has to move his bishop out of the way. We harass it again. Oh, and he drops the silver. I was like, okay, we can exchange these two, which I'm more than happy to do, because we have a very strong attack coming here, and also his silver is hanging, so we would get a silver extra. That's somewhat of a similar problem we faced in our last game, where we didn't see the tempo line and we lost an extra gold with a check, right? And from here on out, we just continue our attack. Now, this seems a bit weird, probably, because yes, we promote to our gold, but this piece is not defended, right? So he might take here, but wisely, he instead elects to get his king out of the way. And the reason for that is, like, taking here would allow us to easily take this. And yes, he got the pawn, or the promoted pawn in that case, for free, but there's a lot of danger coming next. If we promote this pawn, he is checked and he would lose his rook. So his king would be in a very, very, very dangerous position. Hence, he did not play that very wisely, and instead retreated his king. We can still grab the silver for free, and he has to really be careful about his defense here now. Instead, he still plays for an aggressive play. He still plays for the offensive. And this silver looks nice, right? I mean, you know, it can promote next. It does, you know, if we didn't have a gold here, it could easily be a checkmate in a couple of turns. However, it doesn't attack anything directly. And if you look at his pieces here, you can see he doesn't have anything to recheck us next. I mean, sure, he could he could drop the bishop here, but we have like 1, 2, 3 defenders, right? So he's basically not threatening anything, while he is in a lot of danger. So this was a bit of a tempo loss for him as well, because we just continue our attack. And you can see that now, this move does not look so good anymore, does it? We attack the rook, we attack his silver, and we also threaten to promote our bishop with check, right? So these are all very, very dangerous threats. So we can see that this silver drop was absolutely not a good play considering his position. He just wanted to make a play for aggressive, I guess. Either way, he goes for the same thing again. He's like, okay, you take my rook, I will take your rook. Which we are, again, happy to do, because we have the tempo and the attack, right? He's even with the bishop here, he still doesn't have any checkmating threats here. He only has 4 pawns and a rook, and even if he drops a rook here, we still have a defender in 2. So we would still need an extra turn to set that up, even if he had an extra piece, right? So we just completely ignore this threat and continue to do our checkmate pattern. You can see this is already very dangerous. Like, again, he's not really committing any piece to the defense, and in this position he only has 1 move, which is here. And this is a position where we actually made a crucial mistake. Now, looking at this position, it's obviously very winning, and the problem with that is, if you're overconfident and you think you're winning anyway, you might not check every corner of the board. Speaking of corners, I just thought the game was over here. I was overconfident. I knew we had a very clearly winning position, and I thought, oh well, that's just checkmate, right? beginner mistake, obviously. I did not even look at that bishop here, which defends a square, which means this is not a checkmate. And here is a key point where I just tunnel visioned into an easy win without really calculating. And I think that's our main key takeaway here. Even if you have a winning position, be careful to always calculate, or even just, I mean, this was not even calculating, it was like a simple line. I always tell people to draw the lines of possible attackers and defenders on the board, which we did not do here. So naturally he defends. Luckily for us, our position was so winning that despite that, we are still able to clutch it out. We just calmly retreat, promoting our rook, and his king does not have a lot of squares to go. He retreats wisely, because this would be a checkmate. Since the rook and is protected by this pawn, he could not go anywhere. He also doesn't really have anything to drop here. I mean, if he drops like a gold here, we still have a silver to go here. So yeah, that would probably be pretty bad. So he wisely tries to get out of the way, but our position is still so crushing. We just take the bishop for free, and the king is in a lot of trouble. And here again, you see, like, even those obvious mistakes, like not playing the correct tempo, if you are under attack, can still happen at this one done level. He tries to set up here a checkmate pattern on his own, because now with the gold here, that would actually be a checkmate. However, we don't really have to care about that, because we are just going to checkmate him right now. You can see our pieces here. If you want, you can pause the video and see an easy checkmate pattern here. It's not too difficult. Of course, we start with the bishop. He cannot go here, he cannot go here, he cannot go here. And he just can go here. And obviously, right then, with our bishop protecting the silver, that is our GG. Sorry about that. So yeah, this time we analyzed a game, a small analysis, a game I actually won, but you can still see, even if you are in a winning position, don't let overconfidence get to you, and always make sure to still calculate the lines and just double check the board and to see if you might have overseen anything. I hope you have learned something, and see you next time. Thank you for watching.